What if I told you that anger doesn't just hurt your relationships? It's literally shortening your life. Right now, tonight, every time you go to bed holding on to rage, you think you're just upset, frustrated, rightfully angry. But inside your body, a war is raging, and you're losing. This isn't about forgiveness for their sake. This is about survival for yours. Anger is the most damaging emotion you can hold on to. Not because it makes you shout or slam doors. Not because it ruins your relationships, though it does. But because it doesn't leave when the noise fades. Think about the last time you were truly angry. Maybe someone betrayed you, lied to you, disrespected you in a way that felt unforgivable. You confronted them. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you just replayed it in your mind over and over. Either way, hours later, when everyone else had moved on, you were still there, still burning. You went to bed that night, telling yourself you'd deal with it tomorrow. But here's what you didn't know. Your body never got that memo. While you tried to sleep, your brain was wide awake, and it was preparing for battle. When you go to bed angry, your brain doesn't truly rest. It replays the argument, the words you wish you'd said, the ones you regret, the look on their face, the injustice of it all. And while you're lying still, your body is not. Let me explain what's actually happening inside you right now. Your brain perceives anger the same way it perceives danger. To your amygdala, the alarm system in your brain, there's no difference between a tiger chasing you and the memory of someone who wronged you. Both trigger the same primal response. Survive. So your brain releases stress chemicals. Cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine. These are the same hormones that would flood your system if you were running from a predator. They're designed to keep you alive in moments of acute threat. But here's the problem. When anger lingers, those chemicals keep circulating. They don't just disappear when you fall asleep. They keep pumping through your veins, hour after hour, night after night. And while stress hormones are life-saving in short bursts, they become life-threatening when they never shut off. Here's what they do. They inflame your tissues, creating chronic inflammation that becomes the breeding ground for disease. They damage your cells, literally accelerating the aging process at cellular level. They raise your heart rate and blood pressure, forcing your cardiovascular system to work overtime even while you're unconscious. They disrupt your sleep architecture, preventing you from reaching the deep, restorative sleep stages your body desperately needs. They suppress your immune system, making you more vulnerable to infections, illness, and disease. You might think you're sleeping it off, but your body is actually fighting an invisible war all night long. A war where there's no enemy to defeat, just you attacking yourself from the inside. Now, one angry night, your body can handle that. We're resilient. We're designed to bounce back from acute stress. But when that happens again and again, every argument, every grudge, every resentment you refuse to release, that silent war starts taking things from you. First, it takes your peace. You wake up exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep. Because cortisol doesn't let you rest. It keeps your nervous system on high alert, scanning for threats that aren't there. You become irritable, short-tempered, easily triggered. The smallest things set you off because your stress threshold has been lowered. You're already operating at a 7 out of 10 on the stress scale before your day even begins. Then it takes your energy. Chronic anger is exhausting, physiologically exhausting. Your body is burning through resources, glucose, oxygen, neurotransmitters, to fuel a fight that never ends. People around you start saying you seem different, tired, burned out. You are, but not from work, from war. Then it starts taking your health. The science on this is overwhelming. A landmark study from Harvard School of Public Health found that angry outbursts increase the risk of heart attack by 230% in the 2 hours following the episode. 230%. Another study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association tracked 13,000 people for 6 years. Those with the highest levels of chronic anger had twice the risk of coronary artery disease. Twice. Research from Ohio State University found that even 20 minutes of anger suppression slows wound healing and weakens immune response. Your body can't tell the difference between a physical threat and an emotional one. So it mobilizes all its defenses constantly. The result? Higher rates of heart disease, stroke, high blood pressure, anxiety, disorders, depression, digestive problems, IBS, ulcers, acid reflux, chronic pain, weakened immunity, even certain cancers linked to chronic inflammation. And finally, it takes your years. A study from the University of Michigan followed individuals for 17 years and found that those who suppressed anger and never released it had 3 times the mortality rate. 3 times. Anger doesn't just make life harder. It makes life shorter. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah came into the ER 3 times in 1 year with chest pain. Each time, the doctors ran tests. Each time, they found nothing wrong with her heart. Anxiety, they said, stress. They sent her home with breathing exercises and a prescription for anti-anxiety medication. But Sarah knew it wasn't anxiety. She felt fine during the day. It was only at night, lying in bed, that her chest would tighten, her heart would race, and panic would flood her system. On her 4th visit, a different doctor asked a different question. Are you angry at someone? Sarah laughed. What does that have to do with my heart? Everything, the doctor said. Turns out, Sarah had been carrying a grudge against her sister for 2 years. A falling out over their mother's will. Words that couldn't be taken back. A relationship fractured by pride. Every night, Sarah replayed their last conversation. Every night, her body responded as if the argument was happening in real time. Her chest pain? Her body's way of screaming what her mind wouldn't admit. This anger is killing you. Sarah reached out to her sister the next week. They didn't fix everything, but they started talking again. And the chest pain? It stopped, not because her heart magically healed, but because the war finally ended. Your body isn't built to live in constant defense mode. Let me explain why. Your autonomic nervous system has 2 modes. Sympathetic, fight or flight. The gas pedal. This is what activates when you're angry. Parasympathetic, rest and digest. The brake pedal. This is what allows you to heal, recover, and restore. When you hold on to anger, you're essentially driving with your foot on the gas pedal 247. Eventually, the engine burns out. Your adrenal glands, which produce cortisol, become exhausted. This leads to adrenal fatigue, which manifests as chronic tiredness, brain fog, difficulty concentrating. Your hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and emotional regulation, actually shrinks under prolonged exposure to cortisol. This is why chronically angry people often seem to have worse memory, worse judgment, and less emotional control. The anger is literally reshaping their brain. Your telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA that determine cellular aging, shorten faster under chronic stress. This means your cells age faster. You age faster. And your cardiovascular system? Imagine a river meant to flow smoothly. Now imagine someone constantly throwing rocks into it, creating turbulence, forcing the water to slam against the banks. That's what anger does to your blood vessels. Constant surges of adrenaline cause your blood vessels to constrict and dilate repeatedly. Over time, this damages a delicate endothelial lining, creating the perfect environment for plaque buildup, clots, and eventually heart attack or stroke. All because you couldn't let go. Here's what makes anger so dangerous. It feels righteous. It feels justified. It feels like strength. When someone wrongs you, anger tells you, hold on to this. Don't let them get away with it. Make them pay. It whispers, forgiveness is weakness. Letting go means they win. So you hold on. You nurse it. Feed it. Let it grow. And you tell yourself you're protecting yourself. Standing up for yourself. Maintaining your dignity. But here's the brutal truth. Holding on to anger doesn't punish the person who hurt you. They've moved on. They're sleeping fine. Living their life. Meanwhile, you're the one lie awake at 2 a.m. with your heart pounding and your jaw clenched. You're the one whose blood pressure spikes every time you think about them. You're the one whose body is deteriorating from the inside out. Anger makes you think you're at war with them. But really, you're at war with yourself. And in that war, there are no winners, only casualties. So maybe protecting your calm isn't about being passive. Maybe it's about being wise. Maybe it's about recognizing that you have a choice. Not about whether you should be angry. Sometimes anger is valid, necessary even, but about whether you'll let it live inside you long after the moment has passed. There's a difference between feeling anger, a natural, temporary emotional response to pain or injustice, becoming anger, allowing to move in, set up residence, and rewrite your personality and health. You can acknowledge your anger. You can express it. You can set boundaries because of it. But then you have to let it go. Not because they deserve your forgiveness, but because you deserve your freedom. Letting go isn't weakness. It's not saying what they did was okay. It's not about them at all. It's about you choosing to stop drinking poison and expecting them to die from it. It's about reclaiming your body, your peace, your health from a war you never needed to fight. So, how do you actually do this? How do you release anger when it feels woven into your DNA? 1. Name it. Don't suppress it. Don't pretend it isn't there. Say out loud, I am angry at person because reason, acknowledgement is the first step to release. 2. Feel it in your body. Where does anger live in you? Your chest? Your jaw? Your stomach? Put your hand there. Breathe into it. Your body has been holding this for you. Thank it and tell it's safe to let go now. 3. Write it out. Get a piece of paper. Write everything you want to say to the person who hurt you. Rage. Scream on paper. Hold nothing back. Then, and this is important, destroy it. Burn it. Rip it up. The physical act of destruction is symbolic release. 4. Move it out. Anger is energy. It needs to be discharged. Exercise. Dance. Punch a pillow. Go for a run. Move the anger out of your body through physical expression. 5. Reframe the narrative. Anger keeps you trapped in the story of what they did to me. Freedom comes when you can shift to what I'm choosing for myself now. The past can't be changed, but your relationship to it can. 6. Seek support. Sometimes anger is too big to release alone. Talk to a therapist, a trusted friend, a spiritual advisor. Healing is not a solo journey. Tonight, before you close your eyes, I want you to do something different. Don't fight another invisible war. Don't take your anger to bed with you like a weapon you're too afraid to put down. Instead, try this. Lie down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. And as you exhale, imagine releasing one piece of the anger you've been carrying. Just one piece. You don't have to forgive everything tonight. You don't have to forget. You don't even have to be okay with what happened. But release one piece. Feel it leave your chest, your jaw, your shoulders. Then breathe again, deeper this time. And with each exhale, let go of a little more. Not for them, for you, because you deserve to sleep without your body waging war on itself. You deserve to wake up without the weight of yesterday's battles crushing your chest. You deserve peace, real peace, the kind that lets your nervous system finally rest. Here's what I've learned after years of studying emotion and health. The people who live the longest aren't the ones who never experience anger. They're the ones who learned how to let it go. They're the ones who decided that their peace was more valuable than their pride. They're the ones who understood that forgiveness isn't a gift you give to someone else. It's a gift you give to yourself. And here's the beautiful thing. The moment you let go, your body knows. Your heart rate slows. Your blood pressure drops. Your muscles unclench. Cortisol levels fall. Your immune system strengthens. Your mind clears. It's not metaphorical. It's measurable. It's real. Choose peace, and your body will thank you. Your mind will rest. Your heart will heal, and your body will finally exhale. So tonight, I'm asking you to make a different choice. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. Let go of the grudge that's been poisoning your sleep. Release the resentment that's been stealing your energy. Surrender the anger that's been writing your future in disease and exhaustion. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to start. One breath, one choice, one night of peace, and then another and another until one day you realize the war is over. And you won, not by fighting harder, but by finally putting down the weapons. Your body has been waiting for this moment. Give it the gift of rest. Give yourself the gift of freedom. The anger can leave tonight. Will you let it?